evening, everyone. It's currently 3 a.m. I should be getting sleep, but I'm not doing that because apparently I hate myself. Instead, we are going to be doing an unhinged round for you to leave on in the background while you draw or clean or anything. Think of it as friendship ASMR. So, I drew this when I was, 12, give or take? I was in 9th grade. I've changed a lot since then, or at least I like to hope I was a dick in 12th grade. Better than before, but hey, we all change slowly over time. I think it was in 12th grade, or at least I remember it being in 12th grade because I remember being really proud of it. So proud that I think I might have secretly signed it somewhere, but I'm not sure. I was about to graduate 12th grade. So, I do know that, and it was a whole thing, but words. Where was I? Yes. Got done in 12th grade. I was really proud of it. It was actually concept art for this webcomic I was really, really excited to make. It's called the Fae Projects. I never finished it because it's me and I'm allergic to finishing stuff, but basically it was like these 6 college students who as a final project were basically I suck at words. As a final project, they were basically supposed to go to Earth and recruit people into their magic society, which now I'm saying out loud kind of sounds culty, but it was culty. It was deeply terrifying for the people I remember writing because weird kid, but I liked it. I was obsessed with it. Did a ton of arts. They were actually my first OCs, which is crazy because I never draw them anymore. Time where I even forgot their eye colors multiple times while doing this. I feel like it would be fun to reflect on the choices I've made now and what I've decided on changing since I first started. I like to think I've grown a lot as an artist. Right now I'm currently in art school, which is not a thing I was doing back then. I still suck, but a lot less. So, where do I start? I changed the perspective. The perspective on that was really bad. The perspective on this is also bad, but it's better. I toned down the colors because I remember a big issue with what I was doing was none of the colors really ever matched with each other because they were either too bright and they never really looked good together. So I toned those down and I used them to do more interesting things. Change perspective, fixed a lot of the issues with the whole scene. I didn't want to change any of the poses too much because I felt it would be unauthentic to the original thing, and a lot of the reason why it does look like that is because of me not being good as a young artist, but I tried to make as few changes as possible aside from those I felt would not affect the general feel of it too much. Does that make sense? It does make sense, or I don't really care. Fuck it. I'm the god here. Wait, what? No. Blah. Words. What did I say? Color changes. I got much better at anatomy. I still suck at it, as you can tell by a bunch of hands, which I actually go into afterwards to fix. So if that's bothering you, then I'm sorry. It's gonna get better. I still don't do this a lot, but I should. Well, I do it, but not in the whole thing. Basically, I start with a gray base, so number one, it doesn't get those white spots that are really fucking annoying. But then also, it helps me get a better idea of colors. I use this really good neutral gray. But gray feels like the most neutral color. Technically speaking, it's not. A true gray, in between absolute zero black and white would still appear black to the human eye, but so we have to do something that's kind of lighter. It's fucking crazy. And giving you space to talk. Let's do a whole Dora the Explorer thing. Remember that show? I remember being really into it. But what happened? What happened in my traumatic backstory? I can't remember. I think I got too into it and someone got upset with me. Such is life. Remember there being a reboot that I really fucking hated, like really hated. Not the Dora and Friends, because I really like Dora and Friends, because you know me, girl shows, they're the best. I love women. But yeah, no. Remember there being like, it was 3D and it looked terrible, and they had like a whole rainbow episode where like none of the colors were in order, and I remember it really fucking getting to me. I have a younger brother. He's like 10 years, almost exactly 10 years younger than me. And so I watch a lot of kids shows, and I get really pissed off by like a lot of them. Like this show, it was so bright, and sure the animation was technically better, but it's like the eyes, like a lot of kids shows nowadays have like these eyes that look so sunken in and terrifying, and like sure other things, but like it was not fun. I never hated it so much. I'm like, it was kind of not warranted, but like, hey, the hate is not really warranted most of the time. You know, choose love, all that stuff. On the topic of kids shows I really don't like though. What's the name of that one that I hate? Fucking Spidey and His Amazing Friends. It's crazy how I'm fucking swearing and talking about like baby shows. But yeah, no, Spidey and His Amazing Friends. It was fucking terrible. The eyes, they would like shoot webs into the sky and there'd be nothing. And like there were so many episodes that like took place in Times Square, but like it was never actually Times Square. It looked like a bad fucking parking lot. And the story was bad and the characters were bad. They changed the characters so much and they took away every edge. They called fucking Miles Morales spin, and that got to me. It did. And the issue is my brother fucking loved the show, so I had to deal with that. And I can't really explain like media quality to kids. Oh, and the stories were terrible. And it's like I had a thing where like I hated most like modern day children's programming. And I was like, oh, I wonder why. And then I saw a Winnie the Pooh reboot, and I realized that like for older shows there were a lot less vibrant colors and more down to earth and grounded, with like characters that had much more distinct personalities. But for a lot of modern children's shows, it's like they're all the same. They're all the same character with just like different skins, and everything is so soft and tame. And I hate to be like Bean Mouth art style, because I'm not like, I don't believe that, but that's not the, I might come off like that, but I genuinely really love it. Like, I'm a huge Turning Red fan. It's so good, but let's focus on one tangent at a time. Tangents, blah. Focusing, brain, just, it's 3 a.m. Tired, and I'm usually like this. But, yeah, no, so what is it called? It's like all the characters are just like the exact same person, but with slightly different skins, and like any given issue that anyone has could be put on another one of the characters, and it's just like really, really upsetting. Like the shows also don't look great, and like that's another thing, because like fun fact about me, I really don't like the Walt Disney Company. It's probably like my favorite, like to the point where I know the fucking Disney CEO by name. Like if I get the death note, I'm probably not gonna kill Bob Iger, but like I think about it because he is terrible. AI art and treating it less as like creative endeavors, more about business. The animation industry is so shit right now. But yeah, not what I'm talking about. No personality, and I fucking hate it. But an example of a good kids show is Bluey. I love Bluey so much. I actually own Bluey merch, and I'm a full-ass adult in university. But like, yeah, no. It's good. Watch Bluey. My favorite episode is the 80s. I don't think that's what it's called, but the one where like Bandit gets like jinxed. It's amazing. I love it. So let's get into the characters. Now, each character has like their own unique fucked up thing that happened to them. I was such an edgelord as a kid. When I was 12, I was kind of like moving out of my edgelord era, because like, okay, so when I was 10, I went to this boarding school. It sucked, but I went to this boarding school, and like part of my coping mechanism is being like, has anyone here watched Psyche K? You're not probably going to respond to that, but if you have watched Psyche K, it's like I was Kaido, and less cringe. Well, not less cringe, but I got less cringe in that way as I left and had interactions with the outside world. But it was still something. I was still something. And as such, all of these characters have like really fucked up backstories. I'm like, yeah. Since we're here though, I want to go into like some of the characters. So let's start with Green Hair. Green Hair was actually my first OC. God, I can't even remember her name. It's been so long. Let's search that, see if I can find that, because I know I might have it on my toy house. Do 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 do. Checking my profile. Do 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 do. And there is nothing on my toy house because fuck me. I think I might have gotten rid of everything because I thought I was cringe. I am cringe, but I shouldn't be getting rid of my stuff. It's not productive. Although if I check my TikTok from when I was a kid, I could probably find their names. But although how I found all of these, it had been a couple of years and I got a new thing, and it was like looking through all the files I had on my iCloud drive, and I found a big file titled The Fae Project, and I decided that it'd be cool to check it out. See if we have anything good. Oh yeah, no, because there's an introductory thing. This was a good idea. I actually did some writing. Chloe, that was her name. God, her original designs were really interesting. But I'm not going to get into that right now. So yeah, no, Chloe. Her name's Chloe. Chloe. I remember being really interested in that name as a kid. Your sister had a friend called Chloe. She was like, her mom ran a cupcake shop and like she called it Chloe's Cupcakes, but that's besides the point. So yeah, green-haired person was Chloe, and there was a lot of world building that was like really complex about like dead gods. I was really into dead gods, about everything being built on dead gods. So like it was very Owl House now I think about it. Oh, maybe I should sue Dana Terrace. I kid, she's like my goddess, but yeah, no. Lived on dead gods, and there were these 4 types of magical beings, and like she was a genetic combination hybrid of like, but like she was like, her parents did some fucked up experiments to her, and now she can like transform into a gorgon. And for people who aren't familiar with those, because there are probably people who aren't familiar with those, they're like the Medusa guys, but yeah, no. So Gorgon, that's a thing. And they were in the assassin for the longest time until they accidentally killed their own mother. And then they decided, you know what, I'm gonna not do that and go to college. I believe she's into biology. I read like a bit with her, and she was like, I like succulents and ferns. Let me read my actual lines of dialogue here because they were probably really bad. It's, hey there, I'm Chloe, as she said. Oh wait, no, because like a different character introduced her, because like she was also not the first gay character I wrote, but she was like one of my first gay OCs, because it's like I had a whole thing with like my fucking, what's it called? Gotcha. I was a gotcha kid, and like I would make a ton of those for those, but I didn't count these as the first OC I ever like fully conceived of by myself. And her outfit is interesting, and it's something I probably, the anatomy is bad, but something I probably wouldn't make exactly like this, but I could see myself drawing this. But I don't think it really suits with her character. It's very hyper femme when she's not that. But yeah, no, her exact first line where she introduced herself is like, hey there, I'm Chloe, as she said. I like ferns and succulents as well as mushrooms. And like the entire group just looks at her because like I believe in canon she's like 8 feet tall. And like has like daggers that she hides in like her socks, yes, and like they're made out of jade, so they're not like detected by metal detectors. And I believe she still does some work here and there to pay for college, but I think it might have also been a world with socialized education, which is cool. She was basically the one with the most interesting backstory and like kind of the main character, but also not really. And since we're on her, let's move to the next person. Purple I think it was originally purple, but I changed the color, and I'm currently only going off by like the pictures I'm looking at. Purple haired girl. Her name's Michaela. She was a mouse person, but she had a thing where like she didn't actually look like a mouse person, so she always did her hair up in buns, so she would. She was from like this really rich noble family, but like because she wasn't a mouse person enough, her parents basically neglected her her entire life. And so when I was a kid, I wrote that she was like alternative to Spike. Spite her. She was very ego because like it was made back then, but it was something. And yeah, no, she was very. And like as a kid, she got kidnapped and almost murdered, and that's relevant here because like the person who kidnapped her was actually a green-haired girl, and like she didn't want to kill like purple-haired girl. Her name's Michaela, if I didn't say that. And like so that's when Chloe killed her mother and like let her go, and it was so traumatic that like she blocked the entire thing out of her memory. And now they're like kind of dating and like stuff, and now they're kind of dating, but like she doesn't know, and like green-haired girl doesn't know how to tell her. And I believe there's like a scene that I drew that I might do a redraw for later. Ooh, if this gets reactions, I'll maybe do a part 2. Maybe do something more interesting. But actually finds out who she is, and she's like so traumatized and scared. I sounded way too excited when I said that. But yeah, no, there's that. What should I move into? Blue-haired floating girl. I think her name was Kim. Yeah, her name was Kim. Let me check the character introductions just to make sure, because I think I can get everyone else's names. do 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 do. Kim, that's her name. Yes. This is actually like kind of a cute one, but I wouldn't do it now. Her first lines are, Kim, at your service, and I like cats. I think she's the kind of person I don't know if she's the kind of person to expect people to, like, know her. She bowed to people, like, when she first saw them, which is interesting. Really good characterization. Some of this is so cute. And, like, I actually, like, I wouldn't do this right now because, like, the anatomy is bad, but there's, like, generally, like, although, oh god, he's disgusting. I hate myself so much for writing this. No, I don't. Change is natural. But yeah, no. She was like this, like, streamer. Well, she was like a gaming streamer. And like, she basically did cooking, and she had this big site, and she was basically my self-insert, but like, as time went on, like, she became less my self-inserts. But like, yeah, this gaming streamer, she was my favorite character. Don't tell the others. Haha, they're not real and I don't draw them anymore, but I loved her. And she had necromancy powers, and she's probably the person in the cast who I think used the most magic, but that's just because, like, I believe that was in her course or something. Or she could have also been... Oh yeah, I never mentioned Michaela. She was an art student. I should really have scripted this. This is an insane idea, but I like going unscripted. I'd make a sex joke here, but I don't know who my audience is. Todoroki looking guy next to her is Lawrence. He was actually from my gacha days, although I updated him a bit. I think it might have been like a Todoroki thing that I edited when, like, before I had watched My Hero. I remember really liking him. He's kind of like a fuckboy before I knew what a fuckboy is. Oh yeah, I don't know who my audience is. I shouldn't be saying that. It's not the thing I just said. God, I'm so annoying. But yeah, no, he's likes cooking and stuff, and like, he was actually in the mafia. Ooh. Both of them are like the magic people who are called mages, and like, they just look like humans, but they can also do magic. You know, magic systems. His first thing is like, he goes immediately after Kim, and he's like, Lawrence, and I like dogs, although I can't say cats don't pique my interest. Like, they were supposed to have like kind of an enemies to lovers dynamic, whereas time went on, they slowly started to love each other, and then she went through this really traumatic thing and figured out like, oh yeah, I have feelings for him, which I wouldn't right now because that's deeply fucked up, and you probably shouldn't like get together with someone because they went through a really traumatic incidents in their life. Blah, words. Yeah, no. And each character had like their own unique opening that I felt. That's another thing about him. He was also like a musician. I'm going through a lot of information really quick, but yeah, no, don't care. Person with like the orangey blonde hair. I think it was actually orange, but I think I made it blonde hair because I forgot about it, because like each character has their own corresponding color, and I'm not sure. Hers was like a goldish orangey yellow, but like, yeah, no. Her name is Flo. I think it might be short for Florence, but I'm not sure. She was basically like the princess, and she was princess of like the world. She was adopted by like her queen mother. She can sew and do other things, and like she's actually the leader of the group, and like she was sent there to manage them basically, because like she's also graduating. If she doesn't do things like the right way, she won't inherit the crown. Basic princess plot. And blue hair guy all the way in the back is her assistant, and he's also in college, but blah, words. You know, I really have a thing for writing like, oh, like assistants who were also like friends. Why do I always have like these like super powerful like women? Wait, no, because I like women, but that's not what I mean. Why do I always have like these women who like have like considerable power over everyone else in the story, and like have like these assistants with which they have weird relationships to? Like in the current thing I wrote like relatively recently, I had this thing where like there was this girl, and like she had this assistant, and she was also like kind of a princess but not really, and like she actually was dating her previous assistant, but they're not dating because like another thing, he's actually like her beard, because like she's very asexual and aromantic, but like she doesn't want to tell her mom that, because the whole reason that she's doing this is because like she's supposed to be like princess and like continue the family bloodline, but she has no interest in doing that, so like he's pretending to be her girlfriend because reasons. And also he gets access to like a lot of books because like he's the nerd guy. And what is his name? It's kind of messed up. I remember what all of the other ones are called, but remember her name but not his name. Let's see, his name is, nope, that's not his name because I did not sort this correctly. His name is Alex. God, my name choices are interesting. I don't think I will write these things. Sucks. The way I did blush was so interesting. It was very pink. Oh my god, did I forget to do blush on these characters? I totally did. I should go back and do that now. So you'll probably see that in the video. But like, yeah, what design choices would I make now compared to when I was younger and doing this? Probably do less main characters, because I felt like at the time all of them were main characters. My writing was based like a lot off of Aphmau because like, you know, huge nerd and stuff, but right now I probably do less of that because reasons. I really go in and fix a lot of things in post because like I only realized it after like looking at it for a long time. I like to think I've changed a lot as a person. I'm still as cringe as I was back then, but I am less of an edgelord, which I don't know if it's good or bad. I'm in college now, and from pretending to like people to actually having people in my life. I don't believe in God now. That's fun, because gods are something. I think I've gone way better on like my lighting and stuff, because like I felt like that was like a little too oversaturated, but now that I have more coloring experience, then I can do better things. Is that what you say? I don't know. Words are hard. At least for me. Talking's always been weird for me. I think it's around the time I probably realized I was neurodivergent. I got that checked out though. I did know I was super anxious. It was right after COVID, and again, just came from a very fucked up location, so those two types of isolation definitely really got me. And I was also moving to a new school because like reasons, and that was like super scary because like I didn't know anyone there and I was trying to fit in. And I actually ended up really liking high school because it's like first place in my life I didn't feel like a complete alien. I still felt outside everyone in my life, but I mean, hell, I even tried to like fake crushes to like fit in, but at the end of the day, it was one of the first times that like my humanity actually got like fully validated by everyone around, by like a lot of people around me, and it felt nice. High school was a weird experience, both really messed up and also really fun. I think my favorite part of high school was like the drum circles. We would have those every once in a while in my class when like the teacher forgot to come, which sucks because I went to a pretty expensive private school because, you know, parents. And also where I'm from, I grew up in Nigeria. Private schools are more than norm there because, you know, capitalism. But yeah, no, that. I love meeting new people. I love writing things and showing them to people. I always like storytelling. It's probably the thing that gives my life the most meaning, if I'm being honest. Like, you know that question, I don't know what it was called, I think it was Plato. No, it wasn't Plato, it was Socrates, and he was like, oh yeah, what's the easiest way you can like describe a human? And like the whole thing with Diogenes where he was like, oh, it's a featherless biped, but like he like took out the feathers from the chicken and was like, oh hey, behold a man, but like it wasn't a man. Diogenes is just a dick. But like, yeah, I feel like if I was gonna answer that question, I'd like give the answer as storytelling, because like I feel like there's nothing more universal to the human experience of telling stories, lying, fiction, the things we tell ourselves that tell us about like who we are and who we should be. Something about that I find so beautiful. And even if like they find out that like that's a thing that orcas could do, or like corvids, I don't think that would make my definition any worse. I just like think of them as more human. I already kind of consider orcas people because, you know, orcas, but like they deserve so much love that we give them. And they're so interesting, and they have like so much potential to be bad people, and I love it. God, I love animals. I love people. I just love. Life is so cool and beautiful. Words. I just ate a whole pomegranate today before filming this, and I have 3 minutes, so I should probably start rounding up instead of going on separate tangents. God, I was gonna say something and I completely forgot. Do you ever get that? Blah. Words. Fun experiences. My current boyfriend, well, not current boyfriend, I hope he's like my continuous boyfriend, but blah, my boyfriend right now, accidentally joined his brother's Discord, and I didn't realize I had my name on it, so he's gonna know I was stalking social media because he did give it to me, but it feels kind of weird because like I put in a lot of effort. Like I'm really good at like finding things, not in a messed up way. I'm not a stalker, but still, like, yeah, no. We are reaching the 30-minute mark. We are currently at 27:53. Oh, I hit that perfectly. And now we should probably get back to the actual piece of art. So what changes I made and like what do I think? Okay, so the change I made, I think it's a lot less vibrant than it was like before I did it. Not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know, I feel like as an adult I'm a little bit more scared of using bright colors. And although I do really like the colors I use now, it doesn't necessarily have the same feel. This feels a lot more cinematic and more down to earth than the previous one. I still really like it. I think like the anatomy on like the people leaning back is way better, although not really too high of a bar. I like how we did the bodies. I just love bodies, not a messed up way. I love how I did the bodies and the eyes and everything. I also changed like the bright purple border around it to like a white, which I hope wasn't a lore thing that I messed up, but I can't really say I'm bothered by that right now. And we are at 29 minutes, so I should probably start rounding up. Thank you for listening to me rant about my thing in my life for 30 minutes. I think I'm going to do a couple more of these. These are pretty fun. Anyways, thank you for your time. You are loved, you were cared for, and we have a couple minutes before I have to say goodbye. So, we'll meet again. Don't know where or don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. So Okay, and that's enough. That is enough. And that would be goodbye. Thank you for listening, and I hope you have a lovely day. You were loved, you were cared for. Goodbye.